The financially troubled Isaac Elementary School District in Phoenix recently approved a deal with the neighboring Tolleson Union High School District that allows schools in Isaac to keep their doors open and employees paid. And for more on all this, we welcome Madeline Parrish. She's education reporter with the Arizona Republic and azcentral.com. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. First of all, it seems like we've talked about this for a long time, just a peripheral. We want to get down to the brass tacks here. What is the latest on the district?
So as of right now, the district is able to pay its employees and fund its operations through the end of the school year. And in the meantime, the consulting firm, which has been appointed by the state to oversee the district's operations, will come up with a long-term plan to address the district's financial challenges.
How unusual is it to have that kind of receivership involved?
So it is quite rare for a school district to go under receivership. Isaac Elementary School District, it's a relatively small school district in Phoenix, serves about 4,800 students, was placed under receivership by the State Board of Education 3 weeks ago. That means that a firm is now overseeing the district's operations, and that happens on average about once every 5 years, according to the State Board of Education.
Interesting. Okay, so lots of concern that teachers weren't going to get paid, kids weren't going to be able to get into schools, bus drivers, et cetera. In comes Tolleson High School District, and what kind of deal? Because it takes some work to figure out what's going on here.
So this was approved by the Tolleson Union's governing board last Wednesday. So the deal essentially allows Tolleson Union to loan Isaac Elementary $25 million to keep its doors open. But what it actually entails is that Tolleson Union acquires leasehold rights of Isaac Middle School and then leases that back to Isaac Elementary. Isaac Middle School will still run as normal, but that means that the district has 5 years to repay the $25 million, and there's going to be a 6% interest rate.
Yeah, how's that going to happen for such a financially strapped operation?
So that's a great question. So the receiver has until May to come up with a plan to set the finances right. I have been told that many options are on the table. Some of those include cost-cutting measures. They also include, so Isaac Elementary has undeveloped land and also some commercial buildings that it could sell. So there are a few solutions in play, but it remains to be seen exactly how the district is going to repay that.
How does the county come into this? Because the county treasurer basically is saying, hey, we're done with this, we're out of here. That was a major factor in all this, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, that was the reason that Isaac Elementary could not pay its employees, was because its funding source from the Maricopa County Treasurer's Office was essentially cut off because it owed so much money that Maricopa County said it had no clear plan to repay. So it owed over $28 million to the county, and Maricopa County Treasurer John Allen essentially said, we cannot continue to honor district expenses until you can show us you can repay the debt. So that's where Tolleson comes in. And
that's where the $25 million comes in, 25 being 28,
yes.
But it's close enough. I mean, how does a school district with 4,800 kids, an elementary school district, how do you get $28 million the wrong way?
So that is going to be a question that the Arizona Attorney General is planning an investigation into. That is something that the receiver is looking into, and that's going to be part of the firm's report that comes out in May. For now, what I can tell you is that the district has been on the list of the Arizona Auditor General's highest risk districts for 5 consecutive years. And there are a few reasons for that. One of them is that the district has experienced declining enrollment. It's dropped by more than 20% since 2019. And that's not unique to Isaac. Many districts in the Valley have declining enrollment. The district also struggled to manage an influx of grants that came during the pandemic. So that's an explanation that came from the district's former superintendent, who has since resigned. But that is also one of the factors that has made it one of the highest risk districts.
And I was going to say, superintendent resigned. As far as receivership is concerned, do we know how long that's going to last?
So it's not clear yet. On average, receiverships last between 3 to 5 years, I'm told, but it really depends on what the plan entails and how long it's going to take for the receiver to implement that plan.
But bottom line, because of the Tolleson deal, leasing the ground under your middle school to pay for your elementary school by way of another high school, holy smokes, because of all of that, teachers are getting paid, kids are getting taught, bus drivers are driving kids.
Yes.
And that's going to happen for A while.
Through the end of the school year,
Okay.
so through the spring is what I'm told from the receiver.
Okay, once spring hits, what do these parents do about the following school year?
Yeah, that's a great question, and one that I'm sure is on the mind of many. I spoke to one parent who worried about staff cuts and potential school closures after the end of this school year. The deal with Tolleson Union actually prevents Isaac from being able to close more than 2 schools, but that doesn't mean that that would necessarily be off the table, though I'm told it's too premature to say whether the district will have to close schools.
And maybe the county sees a lesser hole that they can fill as opposed to 28 million when this thing has been going crazy for a while. Maybe the county steps in more so.
Yeah, so long as the district shows a sufficient cash balance,
Right.
They will still be receiving the funds necessary to pay their payroll expenses and transportation and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's the situation that they're in currently.
Well, great reporting on this, by the way. Madeline Parrish, again, Arizona Republican, azcentral.com. Good stuff, and thanks for sharing the information. Sounds like a mess, but you made sense of it, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I
You bet.
appreciate it.